Hey everyone, so I was scrolling through some astrophotography forums the other day and kept seeing people complaining about how their wide-field shots just weren't sharp at the edges, even with expensive APO refractors. Turns out most budget astrographs cut corners with triplet designs and single glass elements, leaving you with coma and field curvature that ruins your shots. But then I came across this Askar SQA130, and after a few nights testing it, I think it actually fixes all those issues without breaking the bank. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the SQA130 uses a quintuplet air-spaced lens system with two pieces of super low dispersion glass. That's 5 elements working together to keep chromatic aberration under control, even when you're shooting bright stars or planets. I compared it side by side with a budget triplet refractor, and the Askar held color accuracy way better, no purple fringing around bright objects. That alone makes it worth the upgrade if you're serious about deep sky imaging. Another thing that surprised me was how well it handles field flatness. Most fast astrographs need a separate field flattener, which adds weight and complexity. But Askar built a self-flat field system right into the optical train, so your corners stay pinpoint sharp without any extra glass in the light path. I shot the North America Nebula at f/4.8 and the stars stayed round all the way to the edges, no need for a separate corrector. The build quality is solid too. The tube is CNC-machined aluminum with a hollowed-out center, so it's lighter than you'd expect for a 130mm scope but still feels rigid. The dual tube rings let you balance the camera and guide scope without flex, and the 360-degree high-precision rotator on the focuser makes framing super easy. I've used cheaper rotators that wobble when you tighten them, but this one locks in place smoothly every time. For daily photography, it's surprisingly versatile. At f/4.8, it's fast enough for wide-field Milky Way shots, but the 130mm aperture still gives you enough reach for smaller nebulae like the Veil or Pac-Man. I mounted it on my star tracker, and even with a full-frame camera, the vignetting was minimal, just a quick crop and you're good. Plus, the included dovetail plate fits standard mounts, so no extra adapters needed. One thing to note, this isn't a grab-and-go scope. You'll need a sturdy mount to handle the 10-pound weight, and collimation is a bit more involved than a simple refractor. But if you're already into astrophotography, you probably have a beefy EQ mount anyway. The focuser is smooth, though, no backlash when you're fine-tuning on a nebula. So, pros and cons. The optics are top-notch for the price, the build is robust, and the integrated flat field system saves you from buying extra gear. On the downside, it's not the lightest option out there, and collimation takes patience. But if you want a no-compromise astrograph that doubles as a daily shooter, this one's hard to beat. Anyway, if you're in the market for a sharp, fast astrograph that won't leave you chasing extra correctors, give the Askar SQA130 a look. The link's down below if you want to grab one. Happy imaging! For most buyers, the real question is not whether Askar SQA130, 130mm aperture f4.8 quintuplet air-spaced SD Glass Petzval AstrograpAstrophotography and Daily PhotographyTelescope sounds impressive on paper, but whether strengths like quintuplet air-spaced lens design, including 2 pieces of SD and integrated self-flat field optical system eliminates the need for actually make daily use feel easier, more dependable, and more worthwhile after the first few days of excitement wear off. What stands out about Askar SQA130, 130mm aperture f4.8 quintuplet air-spaced SD Glass Petzval AstrograpAstrophotography and Daily PhotographyTelescope is how it seems positioned for buyers who want something practical, easy to understand, and worthwhile beyond the first impression. It is also smart to think about long-term satisfaction. A product like Askar SQA130, 130mm aperture f4.8 quintuplet air-spaced SD Glass Petzval AstrograpAstrophotography and Daily PhotographyTelescope usually feels like the better buy when it stays convenient, comfortable, and reliable in normal everyday use instead of only looking good in the listing.